Sharif D. King TV, King Sharif here with Abstract Mindstate. What's going on?
We in the A. We in the A.
In the A with it. Hey, let's take it back to where we first got started with Abstract Mindstate. First of all, how do we get the name?
Ooh, in a hat.
Right.
In a hat.
Juggling, no. We actually was at a period of time where we wanted to, everything about our group changed. The energy, the vibes.
The amount of people.
The amount of people. It was just such a big change at the time. And to be quite honest, it was just like, I don't know, we wanted to separate ourselves from the feeling of what was going on because we had a partner in our group that was a part of a tragic situation. Just put it like that, and we was like, yo.
We need to distance ourselves.
We just wanted to change that energy. Plus our style was, we was just more into getting more intricate with it and having fun with the wordplay. And we also wanted a name, that would match more. But we had a name, was great. But it was called, our group's called Mad Skills. Because of Mad Skills in Virginia, we had to change our name.
We had to change it.
Because we knew it was going to be a conflict because we was on the rise. Then. And, although we spelled it different, we didn't
want that.
No.
We was like, shout out to Mad Skills.
We didn't want that headache.
We was like,
Now, did you guys meet in Chicago or did you guys
J-State.
Okay. Where are we? Freshman year, sophomore year, junior year?
My freshman year.
It was my freshman year, my sophomore year.
And we actually met on the train on the way home for a Christmas break.
Christmas break.
In 1990. 1990. And like going home on the Amtrak. It was like a party, like on the train. It was, most of us couldn't, back then wasn't no flights. We weren't flying nowhere. But the train and the bus were the things, right? So it was this bar cart. College, you drunk anyway. So everybody, get together on this bar cart. And, back then, 90, hip-hop was everything. So people playing music. It went from playing music to people kicking verses. Right? And so they kicking verses like Greed and all his homies, they kicking, like going crazy, kicking mad verses. And it got quiet for a few minutes, and then I just went ballistic. And he was like, what's your name? He's like, what's your name? I was like, Dank. And he was like,
I was like, oh, okay.
I heard of you.
And so from there on, that's when the group was discovered, or did it take some time?
Oh no! So I joined an already established crew called the Stew Pot Stowaways. The Peace Posse, right? The Peace Posse. We hadn't made it to Stew Pot yet. The Peace Posse. I had joined that, and with the hopes of Greed mentoring me as soloist.
Just developing her as a soloist.
As a soloist, because at that point, I had like 2 songs that I had to get back in the crib, and it wasn't really my thing. You know what I mean? I loved rapping, I loved writing, but it just hadn't become something that was. Really but it hadn't become something to me that I could see like a future in. Until I joined Peace Posse and just started getting these different accolades, and I was surrounded by people who. They felt like it was their future too. So I just gravitated towards that and adopted that as like my future as well.
So there was no shopping demos at that time. You was putting music on tape, no passing a degree like, hey, listen to this.
Nah.
Well, I'll tell you what's funny. When we met, I already had an independent record deal, and we was featuring her on the song. And we called this song Two Poets and a Portress. And in that session, which was one of the first recording sessions for us just signing this independent deal. Now keep in mind, I always had this. She'll tell you, I always had this independent everything kind of attitude.
Always, that's always been his focus. Like never major label. Always, everything he did was geared towards independent. So
even when majors was everything, right?
Even when majors were everything.
I was still like, no, we got to get on these independent situations. And that's what we did. So that led to, it wasn't even, I'll be honest, the suggestion wasn't even mine or ours.
It was his partner.
It was my old partner, the guy I used to rap with. When he heard, when we did that song with her, and the place he was in his life, he had pledged Kappa Alpha Psi.
At SIU.
SIU. Straight to this day, he's still a homie, but he didn't have hip hop the way we did at an HBCU. he was at
SIU. He was at a PWI.
He was at a PWI, and the vibe just wasn't. We was living hip hop down there. He was the closest thing he had was his Kappa brothers. So when he saw how we were, and he knew in his heart, he honestly wasn't the same guy from high school, because me and him have been partners in the group since high school. Yeah. And he knew he wasn't on the same page. And he came to me and said, "Hey man,
y'all sound good together."
Y'all sound good together. And that was weird for me. Cause I'm like, man, I've been rapping with you since my sophomore year of high school.
Yeah, he was kind of messed up.
Like, what are you talking about? You know, cause I at the time, like EP said, I saw you helping groom her, and she finna be this dynamic solo artist in the MC Light, Queen Latifah vibes, like just really killing it. Yeah. But then when he said that, and I listened to it, we listened to it, and I was like, huh. So we just kept working. And it's almost like it naturally we just started just doing more songs together. And
I don't even think it was anything that was stated. Like he said, it was natural. Yeah, because at this point, the conversation with Chill wasn't even like a conversation between us. Yeah, right. We just started doing more songs together, and it just started melding, and it became something that was natural. Yep.
So. And that's how the other guy ended up in it, because it was while this thing was coming together. He was super dope and looking for a group, a family or a group to be a
somebody
part of.
Belong to.
So I say, hey, what you think about,
Yeah.
And he was dope, and he got in.
He was dope.
He was real dope.
His name was P Dope.
Yeah, his name was P Dope. What's funny is our configuration used to be like the Fugees and Diggable Planets, two guys and a girl.
Before them.
Before them. Yeah. We was before them, and to this day, we pretty much stand as the only male-female duo. At least, I'm sure somewhere in some crevice, but we're the only ones that literally came out with nationally,
the hip hop world
internationally, released for real on a real situation,
Yeah. Tell me how the HBCU community kind of helped you guys sprout.
Oh man.
The HBC community was just so accepting. Like hip hop was ours. Yeah. Like it was nothing else but hip hop in R&B. 90s.
Yeah, 90s.
Come on,
R&B or hip hop.
Like
and you were both, whether you
wanted to or not, right? Yeah, whether you wanted it or not, and it was ours. The shows, like everything was geared towards, and not even purposeful. Yeah. It wasn't even purposeful, but everything was geared towards just holding on to the culture of hip hop. It was nothing that was dynamic and stated and purposeful. It just happened like that because we knew that this was ours. Our beats, cross colors, everything that came, Carl Kanai, everything that came out that was hip hop and ours was prevalent at HBCUs.
So
it wasn't happening.
Like the HBCU allowed you
it fostered
to be
it.
As black as you wanted to
be.
So was our rhymes.
Yeah, and so was our rhymes.
Raps was on that. We were talking about, we was always flippy with the wordplay, but we was on something. We was talking about something, and that mattered to our peers.
I don't think your concentration could be on you and us and your culture, whether it's music, whether it's art, black culture. Yeah. I don't think it could be fostered anywhere else but at HBCU. Right. Like not fostered by a certain conglomerate and the whole. Right. Jackson State was everything black. Everything we wanted to do at Jackson State, they were like, go ahead.
They let us on the stages. Go ahead. They let us perform in all of the different areas on campus.
Go ahead.
The school was with it because the school was black.
Can you imagine doing that at a P like that? That's not happening. You getting scrutinized like, well, how many people are coming and what time are you? Not
they like,
just
y'all so y'all go okay. And they heard, everybody we approached, they had already heard about us. We was making a lot of noise because we were loud in a small place. We were really loud.
We were performing by this time. We were performing all over Mississippi.
Yeah, all over, not just Jackson.
Not just Jackson.
All everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah. Now, and those are places that MJG. Like those were places where that type of music was.
Like,
Memphis,
what's on Al Capone? Underground artists like Al Capone, we did shows with. But anyway,
taking it there. What's important to me is that you guys talked about poetry and how that was important early on. It's not recognized as much how important was the poetry aspect and recognizing how you came up as independent, honest music, things like that?
Right. I mean, you know what? Poetry has always been something that worked with hip hop.
Yeah.
Which is why well, I say it like this. This is a good time to say this. The most relevant spoken word artist in the game right now, 3-time Grammy Award winning artist, Jay Ivy, we gave him his first
Shot.
Yes, real studio situation.
Wow.
He'll tell you, if you see Jay Ivy say, hey man, I heard Abstract was the ones that put you in a real studio for the first time.
Man, and when I see him, I'm gonna ask him. He probably doesn't even remember me because when I first met Jay Ivy, I was an intern at LRG.
LRG.
Okay,
Yes.
okay,
Chuck
okay.
Barrett, Ryan Haslam. I was an intern there, so that's when I seen them photo shoots, things like that. So when I see him,
Woody is my man.
okay, yeah,
Woody, yeah.
okay,
Woody is
Yeah,
the homie.
Woody's the homie,
He got
yeah.
the oyster
Yes,
going
yes,
crazy
yes,
right now.
yes,
But
go
yeah,
crazy.
Woody, yeah.
So tell me about just building the movement up. Honest Music, is it a label at this point? Or are you saying, you know what, we're just doing honest music? That is the style of rap that we are portraying. That's what we're putting forward.
It's both.
Yeah, it's both. It's a movement and it's
His
a
label.
Honest Music is really.
I'm an
label.
artist on his label.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
it's his label. I don't share the label with him. I'm an artist on his label.
And what is that like to be signed to someone that you're in a group with?
Well, because I haven't done a full solo project, I don't know. like I don't know yet.
Yeah.
You know, but it's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming. It's coming. It's
Yeah.
coming. Albums are out 2005, 2007, 2008, then 2021. The timing that's spread out between the albums. How? Why?
Yeah. So we have had caught so many bad blows and so many false starts is what we call it. Like it was these moments where we were set up to be, and when I say we're set up, it was the work we were doing. We had done so much work to put ourselves in a certain place, and every time we was about to come out, something
happened.
financial
It was always
stalled
financial.
every time. Our
Always.
first album was called We Paid Let Us In, which is now the name of our documentary, but it's called We Paid Let Us In, The Legend of Abstract Mindstate. That's our doc, but We Paid Let Us In. That one, right as we was about to come out with it, the investor did some, he was a legit dude with like a company, real estate, land development and all this, and he did some fraudulent, he did some fraud on that side of the game.
Right.
They
it
ended him
affected
up
us.
in jail, and it affected us, and it stopped our finances. So now we run and go sign this deal with these young guys who got a distribution deal. It's
Yeah.
all independent. They're an independent label. Matter of fact, the distribution was out of Atlanta. It was called 404 Music Group. They used to be the hottest, one of the hottest independent, like a TVT. They did TV tunes. That's what TVT stands
Okay.
for. TV
Got you.
tunes, television tunes, right?
Yeah.
Well, 404 was the other one. You know, it's always two. They were the other one. So they did. So anyway, that was our distributor through this label that I don't even need to say.
Yeah.
But and then that stalled, right? Because what happened with first the investor behind us by ourselves fell apart. Then we get with these guys. That was back during the day when the distributor or label advanced you your marketing dollars. These guys hadn't seen no bread like that at that time. They got advanced their marketing dollars instead of putting
And
it in
lost
us,
it.
They ran with the money.
Wow.
And so that's back to back with that.
Wow.
Then we regroup and we come back with this new album. Everything set up, stuff. All of the press was serviced with advanced copies. Write up started. We building up again. Abstract Mindstate is back.
Yeah.
Everybody checking for us. And then the person who was investing with us then, something happened on their end. They had to pull out.
Yep.
And it was like the same thing.
Yeah.
It was
And so
always money.
It was always money.
It was always money.